corruption is minimized, the opinions of minorities are considered, and the voices of the most vulnerable groups in society are heard in the decision-making process. It also responds to the current and future needs of society. These are the 8 major principles of a good governance. Number 1. Participation. Participation of both men and women is a key cornerstone of a good governance. Participation can be direct or through legal intermediate agencies or representatives. It should be pointed out that representative democracy does not necessarily mean that the concerns of the most vulnerable groups in society will be taken into consideration in decision-making. Participation needs to be informed and organized. This means freedom of association and expression on the one hand and an organized civil society on the other hand. Number 2. Rule of law. Good governance requires fair legal frameworks that are enforced impartially. It also requires the full participation of human rights, particularly those of minorities. Impartial enforcement of laws requires an independent judiciary and an impartial and incorruptible police force. Number 3. Transparency. Transparency means that decision-making and its implementation are conducted in a manner that follows rules and regulations. This also means that information is provided free of charge and directly accessible to those who will be affected by such decisions and their implementation. This also means that sufficient information is provided in easy-to-understand forms and media. Number 4. Responsiveness. Good governance requires institutions and processes to work hard to serve all stakeholders within a reasonable time frame. Number 5. Consensus-oriented. In a given society, there are multiple participants and equally many opinions. Good governance requires the mediation of different interest groups in society to reach a broad consensus in society on what is in the community's best interest and how to achieve this. It also requires a broad and long-term view of what is needed for sustainable human development and how to achieve such development goals. This can only result from an understanding of a given society or community's historical, cultural and social contents. Number 6. Equity and inclusiveness. A society's well-being depends on ensuring that all its members feel that they have a stake in it and do not feel excluded from the mainstream of society. This requires all groups, but particularly the most vulnerable, to have opportunities to improve or maintain their well-being. Number 7. Effectiveness and efficiency. Good governance means that processes and institutions produce results that meet the needs of society while making the best use of resources at their disposal. The concept of efficiency in the context of good governance also covers the sustainable use of natural resources and environmental protection. Number 8. Accountability. Accountability is a key requirement for good governance. Government agencies in the private sector and civil society organizations must be accountable to the public and their institutional stakeholders. Who is responsible to whom depends on whether the decision or action taken is internal or external to the organization or institution. Generally speaking, organizations or institutions are responsible to those affected by their decisions or actions. Without transparency and the rule of law, accountability cannot be enforced. In conclusion, it should be made clear that good governance is an ideal that is difficult to achieve in its totality. However, to ensure sustainable human development, actions must be taken to work towards this ideal to make it a reality. To ensure a better society for all, kindly share this video with your friends and family.
Okay, producer Namisha, and this year can amemwo papa, and I say, Kabimami can be amemwo papa. These are some of the principles. And or maybe a practicing democracy, not these principles, and as a principles we in Nimbiano. That country is not a democratic state. 81. You can democracy, you can be mammy can be. But these are the principles. I bet to me that democratic state, are good. So when we are talking about good governance, we are talking about participatory, where the obia inclusive. Where the abiding, where government puts the interest of the people first, where government making sure say the needs of the people are met, what the people want are given to them before able to imagine. And when we are talking about good governance and the democratic state, we are talking about responsiveness. Say abiding be responsible. Adie be abiding policies, initiatives, spendings, be abiding including lawmaking, and I say be aban baby, aban or government must be responsible. You can't say be responsible. Idea was a way no saa na why no pepepe said you was a odefa saa na ode afa udi ule mu pepepe na de ye wasede no de ye wadwuma na nkasa na was a no why no pepepe. That is responsiveness. In the democratic dispensation as a democratic state bia no government must be responsible. In any state bia aban any responsible bia no there is a problem. And then two, corruption is minimized. In any democratic state, corruption these are one of the principles. So any democratic state, corruption, that country on paper, in the mouth, a democratic state, but in reality, that country is not a democratic state because there should be corruption should be minimized, less corruption. Enti katahyehyɛ ne proye o man bia nka ye democracy bia no ka osanka katahyehyɛ ne proye etumi kɔfom saa nso na esa response to future needs. Enti o say o man bia so practice democracy bia na ban ne tena se ohun se ochina this can happen e wo se me yesei o se me toto niema o se me di wegu akwam se de be ya the needs of the future niema ye betumi ahia ochina niema na se niema betumi aboa o man bia ochina na se o man no ochina no o man no ensa betumi aka. You don't wait for it to come and sana aban who dey won any democratic state bia no aban plan the needs of the future. And also freedom of association obia to me hear the ope one say we na me ne be nante a me fa ahodie we na me ne be nante a me fa ahodie we na me ne be nante a me fa ahodie. And then there is no enforcement of laws. Democratic state bia no yen hyemra kenten se umpo we ya na wudi so. That is why responsiveness and participatory nimpa ni na decision making every citizen part citizens because omo dey choose leaders into omo part of the decision making. Enti yen force mra dictatorship governance and ya force bibi se chenchena say ya na ebe baby a practicing democracy bia na aban bia force niama impose niama e won nko force bia no that country is not a democratic state. And then also there should be some form of transparency. E was said niama mu da ho enti o man bia democracy ko so no aban ni ye bibia obema mu ada ho. For instance sika bia aban ni benya bia no aban ni be biem sika we minya sei me di we ye sei that has to do also transparency and accountability enam. Enti aban ni bie niema mu ma ne ye fair na temamufo ne te ase a that is where we say government is being accountable. So in any democratic state government should be responsible, government should be accountable, and there should be transparency. And then sustainability of natural resources in a democratic state. E was say aban ni bon humodi bia say the natural resources are on mine no e wo no aban no ebetumi maintain as sustain said the requisite and I said the required use of the natural resources na mind one ebetumi aye aduma. So man be practicing democracy na the natural resources aye bibia oho bia no there is something wrong with the leadership. Producer democracy ni na abeko ni na no lead including the type of government, the qualities of a president or a leader, and then principles of democracy. Ni na no lead to nation building. But there are also certain things, certain enemabia or kaboma, etumima or manbia, etumi ebuilding. So there are certain things to know. There are key things to know in nation building. Producer, share video no somra.
What is nation building? Nation building means creating a country that functions out of a non-functioning one. The old one may have been destroyed in a war, has fallen apart, or never really worked properly. The Soviet Union is an example of one that never really worked properly, while Iraq and Afghanistan endured long wars. Journalists also use the term nation building when referring to government policies that are designed to encourage a strong sense of national identity. Dresden in Germany looks incredibly different today compared to what it looked like in 1945. The goal of nation building is to encourage the economy to grow and unify the people within the country so that it remains politically viable and stable over the long term. Two good examples of successful nation building are Germany and Japan, which were devastated after the Second World War. Today, they are thriving, prosperous democracies. At the end of the Korean War, in 1953, South Korea was one of the poorest nations in the world. Today, it is a wealthy country. Today, nation building typically refers to the efforts of the newly independent states of Africa. It also refers to the nascent countries in the Balkans, including Serbia, Herzegovina, Montenegro, Macedonia, Croatia, and Slovenia. These infant countries had been carved out by colonial and imperial powers with no regard to religious, ethnic, or other boundaries. They are also the result of countries that have been split into smaller nations. Nation building aims to make sure that these countries become viable, stable, and prosperous. Nation building after a war, independence, or the total collapse of a country's economy is not only necessary for the nation's future prospects, but also its neighbors, the region, and sometimes the whole world. Nation building is a very difficult and risky undertaking, especially in countries with deep religious, ethnic, and/or political divisions within the population. Some people say nation building is virtually impossible if that country never really functioned effectively. The Marshall Plan, officially called the European Recovery Program, was an American nation-building program to help Europe get back on its feet after the Second World War. The total aid package was worth $120 billion in today's money. It was the most successful international aid and nation-building program in history. It was named after General George Marshall, who put forward the proposal when he was U.S. Secretary of State from 1947 to 1949. Thank you for watching this Markets Business News video on nation building.
Okay, producer Nyame Enshaw. Into your nation building, it has to do with interventions. Bino Eddie Guaquem, to say the about South Korea, early 50, South Korean Tokwa, Ama South Korea Tete. But it took leaders with vision to say them. It took leaders who were committed. It took leaders that they believed in equality. They had the vision, they were committed, and they believed in equality. And South Korea, so in nation building, there are some interventions. Every nation be put up, especially the leadership, the president, and its parliament. Every nation, the leaders must put up certain initiatives. The nation building so that or maybe able to develop it. If certain strategies are not put in place, see a mapping certain strategies be now you lay down certain rules and regulations. Now you heard the direction we want to go. No country will ever develop. It's in nation building. It requires the leaders must be people who believe in interventions, new plans, and new inventions. So that whenever there are new inventions, that is why other countries are mobile phones, cars, lights, so those are the new interventions and the inventions. Every country in nation building, you need to have some of these interventions. So you ask yourself, say, wherever country you are in Africa, what form of government is running now? And then what are the interventions by putting in place and making sure say the nation will be built well, and making sure say in nation building the principles are being followed. So if certain principles and I said no guidelines are there, so in nation building there should be interventions, there should be certain principles laid down so that the economies can be stable and reliable. In every country, lacking certain things as far as the nation buildings are concerned. For nation to be built, the nation must be stable, it must be prosperous. Leaders put in place, and then of course you can sit down and say this nation or this particular country is being built, and I said this particular country so there are a whole lot. Without interventions, without good inventions and interventions, no country can develop. Intermaya developing it has to do with the interventions and the Nyama be minor edition and as a moon for the shame. That is why some countries has developed. And then to country be to show Dubai. The effort Sheikh Mohammed Maktoum put here, the interventions, any the inventions, any the ideologies, the principles are as a leader or put it up and Dubai, ebedu baby Dubai, edu ene. Producer, interviewer Sheikh Mohammed Abin Maktoum otumi na yamhwe the way odi Dubai esi transform ya from a desert onto a nation in Shontoba now in Shwe. Producer Sheikh Mohammed of Dubai.
Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum is the ruler of the Emirate of Dubai. He has made Dubai one of the best cities in the world.
What are you trying to do here? What do you want this place to be?
I want it to be number one. Not in the region, but in the world.
What do you mean number one in the world?
In everything. High education, health, housing. Just making my people the highest way of living.
Dubai has become so famous that most people around the world think of it as a country. But it is not a state, it's just a city in the United Arab Emirates. A city that was a desert a few years ago. Everyone has heard about the Burj Khalifa. But the ruler of Dubai is bored with it now. So he's building the Dubai Creek Tower. It is said to be completed by 2021. Its height will be 1,300 meters. Burj Khalifa's height is 830 meters compared to it. Dubai is the world's largest construction site. Dubai's growth is faster than any other city in the world. Before 1960 Dubai was nothing. But then oil was found in Dubai, and its destiny was changed. But Dubai doesn't rely on oil money now. In fact, Dubai's current earning from oil is less than 5% of its GDP. Dubai has become the trading hub for the world. Only 15% of Dubai's population are Arabs. The 85% population of Dubai are foreigners working in the country. More than 60% of the population are from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. In 1990, there was only one skyscraper in Dubai. The World Trade Center. Now there are a total of 148 skyscrapers. And 917 high-rise buildings in Dubai. Police in Dubai uses supercars, such as Aston Martin 177, Audi R8, Bentley Continental GT, Bentley Bentayga, and many more. Dubai never settles for number 2. The Dubai Mall is the world's biggest shopping mall. It has 1,200 stores in total. Dubai's Palm Jumeirah is the world's largest man-made island. The only 7-star hotel in the world, Burj Al Arab, is in Dubai. The ruler of Dubai wanted Disneyland in Dubai that would be bigger than Disneyland in America. But Disneyland rejected the proposal. So he built Dubailand. It is 2.5 times bigger than Disneyland. More than 200,000 visitors are seen here. The ruler of Dubai's vision has made Dubai what it is today. Where there were only deserts a few years ago, there are only skyscrapers now.
Why do you want everything to be the biggest, the tallest?
Steve, why not? Why not? If you can have it in New York, what can we have it here?
Why are you in such a hurry? Most people would try and do all of this in a lifetime, not in 5 years.
I want my people to live better life now, to go to the high school now, to go to the good healthcare now, not after 20 years.
So, leader of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, or say, I want to make Dubai number one. Any say number one in what? Or say number one in everything. Dubai, or person Dubai #1 in everything, where it will get to a point you can't compare America to Dubai, where it will get to a point you can't compare those countries to Dubai. Also, person Dubai #1 in everything. That is why I was saying, a leader must have vision. A leader must be committed. Because you say, you want to make everything Dubai #1 in everything. Or say, because I want my people to live better. That is a leader. Or say, me pese me nko for ne ho to omo, me pese Dubai for ho to omo. That is why I want Dubai to be the best in everything. And you say, Dubai education or pese the best. Dubai agree the best. Be Dubai be our ports and all that. Or pese ni na the best in the world. That is why I name the biggest shopping mall in the world, Dubai. A country where 1990. Now just one skyscraper. You can skyscraper sabro piano. Now one. Now over 148. It's every year I was saying. Or say if it is done in New York, why can't it be done here? Say yeah, New York Dubai. This is a desert we are talking about. And this is a leader we are talking about. If it is done in New York, it can be done in Dubai. And let me say, and near other countries, and so many years, to me, other countries developing faster. Other now, they already 5 years. That is a leader with vision, a leader who is fully committed. So these are visionary leaders. More countries, to me, Dubai now or two oil. And now I know I said Dubai and yet oil never Dubai air cost. Where we have over 200,000 people visiting Dubai day in and day out. And to Dubai, 2 oil kakrabino and capitalizing on the oil. And they enter into tourism. And then you go Dubai. Or the tourism sika and Irani. Just 5% of the oil no with the developers or mine and no pet and no muishu. It's in the Dubai oil. As soon as or just 5%. Dubai developing has to do with tourism. Oil sika kakra omunya no omudi tourism. This is what we call a leader. The only 7-star hotel in the whole wide world is Dubai. What's your person in Dubai #1 in everything? And if you look at these instances, the biggest shopping mall in the world is Dubai. The only 7-star hotel in the world is Dubai. You can imagine how Sheikh Mohammed had transforming Dubai just from 1990 to now. I'm at Dubai. I'm for alcohol. People are going there. Celebrities, presidents, a whole lot. People are going there day in and day out. This is the leader we are talking about. Now, Dubai and Kwa producer, NCBA me be phone lines no. NCBA be phone line. Producer, young Singapore. These are countries may use because no hope for them, but leaders with vision, they have hope and they are growing. Now, Singapore first near Singapore near count. But the 6th largest growing economy in the world now is Singapore. Country are only natural resources. Country are the Hawaii and they are building relationship or they are entering into shipping with South Korea, with Japan, and with China. And through shipping, Singapore air course. It took one man, Lee Kuan Yew. Producer, you heard Singapore and Lee Kuan Yew.
Renowned to have the world's best infrastructures, education, and economy. Yes, you may have guessed it right. This is Singapore. And according to a 2013 global report by The Economist, it is ranked the 1st best country to be born in Asia and the 6th in the entire world. Credit Suisse's Global Wealth Report of 2021 even stated that Singapore's millionaire list would grow a total of 61.9% from 270,000 in 2020 to over 437,000 in 2025. This is even after knowing that there's a global crisis going on around the world, wrecking economies one after the other. But all present and future aside, how did Singapore come to be so rich? Well, it might be because of one man, and this person goes by the name of Lee Kuan Yew. He is renowned for transforming a tiny island nation from a third world to a first. Born on September 16, 1923, to parents who are third-generation Straits Chinese, or commonly known as Perenikins. Growing up, Lee and his family faced several challenges, mainly because of finances, but his parents helped pull through. By 1935, Lee had attended Raffles Institute, known as Singapore's oldest school. At first, he had trouble studying, but eventually, he improved his grades and even topped the junior and senior Cambridge examinations. Because of this, he was granted a scholarship to study at Raffles College. But his studies were disrupted because his school was converted into a medical facility due to the coming of World War II. During the war, he had worked as an English editor for the Japanese propaganda department and later did a lot of side jobs and even one time had a business path of producing a stationary gum called Stickfuss. After the war, he went on to the United Kingdom to pursue his educational ambition. There, he showed brightly amongst other students, and at one point gaining the Fitzwilliam Whitlock Prize. By 1950, Lee would head back to Singapore and would head up and encounter the world of law, entering a law firm run by the co-founder of the pro-British and colonial Progressive Party. It is also where Lee had to play a role in the 1951 Legislative Council election as an election agent. Fast forward to 4 years later, in November 1954, after several involvements and meeting with politics, journalism, and running in and out of several court trials, Lee had finally inaugurated the People's Action Party, along with several prominent names. Throughout the next years, Lee's life had embarked into the world of politics. With his party being formed less than a year, they had joined the 1955 general election. Brave and tough for being only months old, surprisingly, even though that it is relatively new, they had won 3 seats already. And to many surprises, Lee Kuan Yew was one of them, along with one of his running mates Lim Chin Sayong, who would also become the youngest assemblyman to be ever elected to office at the age of 22. Although not every day did they see success. Throughout until 1959, several members of Lee's party were detained, imprisoned, and had gone through rough paths. They were criticized for inciting riots, and several were viewed as a communist. But they were able to overcome such challenges, and on the 5th of June 1959, Lee and his cabinet were sworn into the office of Singapore, where Lee Kuan Yew became the Prime Minister. Throughout Lee's life in office, he had transformed Singapore into an economic miracle. When he first came into office, Singapore had a tiny gross national product per capita of only $1,240 into over $18,437 by 1990. He was able to snowball Singapore into a world of its own. He oversaw the creation of several state-of-the-art infrastructures, helped Singapore's workforce grow into a world class, and create one of the world's best and cleanest governments ever. What's most amazing to note is how Lee had already realized way back that Singapore had its limitations. It was a small country with so little population back then. His policy to pull talented people helped forge Singapore's economic success. With the unemployment rate dropping from over 13.5% in the year he was sworn in office to only 1.7% by 1990, he had certainly created Singapore from a developing nation to one of the most developed nations, not only in Asia, but to the rest of the world. Several people have said that the best way Singapore grew was how Lee attracted foreign investments. He could get these Fortune 500 companies around the world to set up operations in Singapore. Lee even established the country as an international financial center and got all of these prominent banks in the country. He was able to do all of this because of how he and his team got Singapore's economic policies right, and even transformed the country's international image of being the Garden City. Anyway, what do you think about Lee Kuan Yew's life? Share with us your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to leave us a like and follow us for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching.
So, that is Singapore in perspective. Lee Kuan Yew, from nowhere. Nino has to do with policies. So, we see a video here, or say Lee Kuan Yew, policies for every country to transform or develop. Then the leader must have certain policies. And it takes only a leader with vision to have good policies. And yes, sir, on my baby, we have people more in power. They call themselves leaders. But our policies doesn't portray them to be leaders. And the leaders must have those visions and those policies, good policies. Might be able to transform it. So, because of the good policies initiated and implemented by Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore and Malaysia, now Singapore has become the 6th fastest growing economy in the world. Now, Lee Kuan Yew ever Singapore, not Singapore, no bia. Medical can say Singapore no from even 1960 now no bia. South Africa Ghana independence da. But Lee Kuan Yew buy just from 90s, and Lee Kuan Yew said no. Baby or mine do know what are we doing? That is where omo enter into shipping, knowing very well say omo ben Japan, omo ben South Korea, omo ben China, and omo ni hwe. So the only thing they had was so another omo these 3 countries enter. So they entered into shipping, and Singapore is something today. It all has to do with good policies and a leader with vision. And the bema omo bi atumi atumpon. Enye kwahwe apa leader bia. There were so many countries leaders kwashiapa people on course of one so there are countries in the world that they have resources but they are still struggling. There were mind bebre we are here or more every natural resource but because of say emu leaders lacking the common sense in management of an economy, those countries are suffering. Amai bebre we are here sika omo natural resources omo no sen ko omo good leaders and penifo etena se adwene and those countries will develop. But those countries are having all the resources. But still, those countries are not developing. Why? It has to do with the mindset, the wicked and the selfish mindset of leaders. Or maybe what resources are into me developing. It is because of the selfish interest of its leaders. Leaders are any vision. Leaders are because sa omaino leaders are they don't believe in commitment, they don't believe in fulfilling promises, they don't believe in anything. And once on the only say ya to Obama me your man pay me a head of state, me a leader, me na more power. That is all. We they have every natural resources, but because of wickedness on the part of its leaders in see or mining to me so why must as a country why must that particular country get all the natural resources now or mining to mean tumpong now or mine only natural resources a mini private umpen for better now mine tumpong or maybe I want natural resources I want everything bia and to mean tumpong biano. There's something wrong with the minds of the leaders bibita to tuma e wo mumpen for adwin. Now so Lee Kuan Yew ba Singapore from 1,000 US. That is inflation GDP $1,000 a whole bump to 18,000. Now cause Singapore now musika inano hoving around just $1,000. It took one man Lee Kuan Yew and now they are around $18,000. So you can imagine the kind of person, the type of leadership he is. The same Lee Kuan Yew Malaysia. Producer, I have Malaysia video. Nearby maybe a phone line. You ever now the phone line out to one.
Dead serious when I said on the eve of National Day, get our ablest and our best into politics. One key requirement is let's avoid hypocrisy and let's do this thing honestly, approximate the market rate. Try and get the government on the cheap, you end up with a cheap government and you'll be sorry for yourselves. First job of a government is to equalize opportunities, right? Not equalize results. You equalize results, you're done for. You end up with what Deng Xiaoping calls the iron rice bowl. Nobody works, everybody does his minimum, very little rice in the bowl. What made the difference in Singapore was that a group of men in 1963, 64, 65, when we were in Malaysia, we decided that we are going to live only one life. If we have to die, we will die for a cause. That made Singapore possible. We couldn't be placated and settle for less. To settle personally for a way out for yourself was easy. You vote in jokers, cranks, weak men, charlatans with some gift of the gab. You run a very serious risk of losing everything you have. Your future really depends on what you make of it. The government can give you that framework, can give expression to the will of a people, but the people must have that will. If you don't have it, there's nothing a government can do.
will for the people. But it is up to the people to also make sure that the will now buying what the more they will go by it for the country to prosper. So every country biana and prosper biano, it is because government has no will for the people. It's now, or see, they had to be one people and die for one cause. So for every country to develop, you need a leader who will unite all the citizenry, all the citizens. Then we all target one goal. This is the direction we are going. Whether we are going to die or we are going to live, this is the direction we are going. And that is exactly what Singapore did. That is exactly what Malaysia did. And they are surviving today. They have developed today. So the then Singapore, Malaysia, now unemployment rate also and now they do as low as 1.7 and it is coming down. Ninano once again has to do with leadership. Ninano has to do with the person on the throne, the person one leader, the person who is in command, who is in charge, the person in authority. So Okasano was say, let's avoid hypocrisy. Minim also for Okasanim, Baba could say, let's avoid hypocrisy. Nya chung pesemin kuminya. We have to do away with it. We have to live our lives as a country, as leaders, devoid of hypocrisy. Nya chumne pesemin kuminya. Utum say, debi we enye. Uchu wan wafa. Ankwa mane dia enye. Ekoma ne dia eye. Ekoma obi a enye. So, or say, avoid hypocrisy. For every country to prosper, its leaders must live their lives devoid of hypocrisy. Nya chomne pesemin kuminya and free honor on the part of leaders. No country will develop. And your mind may be on all the natural resources, but because of hypocrisy on the part of mining leaders, the countries are not developing. You can name them. To whom it may concern. And then also making mention of equal opportunities. And you can say, we a president ba, we a minister ba, we eti adia was here the mawe near the amount before from adia you be there near the amount by virtue of power binti near Jobi adia near the amount by virtue of sika obi enti obi wo sika no de by force katashi no de jina adia by virtue of say obi hu nia bem obi ni obi nti adia ye ne dia no obi je ni esisi amount for the nkofo ko prison hu hia. All these practices are going on in the world. So Lee Kuan Yew is talking about equal chances, equal opportunities for everybody so that the society will be safe. This is what we call a leader. And then also, the future depends on what we do today. That is a leader. Or say, it depends on the that is a leader. So if you're a leader, will be say, what are you doing today? Say the future, the development that you are looking for, you will get. These are leaders. And these are countries. They were not better than Ghana. Ghana was rather better than them. Ghana was better than Singapore. Ghana was better than Dubai. Ghana was better than Malaysia. But now, as we sit here, your unemployment rate, saying, your GDP, saying, development as far as education, infrastructure are great. Saying, Malaysia to me be far be, ene o produce more. Other countries produce more cocoa. Whereas some time ago, they producers of cocoa. Singapore now Singapore has developed. Ni na no be say and they share types of governments. You share principles of good governance. You share certain traits. I just say will be a good president and I say a good leader. You share how Sheikh Mohammed transformed Dubai into a new city. You share how Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore, Malaysia into new cities of today. Abe one of the developed countries, course we're developing. What is your take? What kind of system, what system of government are we practicing in this country? And a particular government where financial institutions obey Kurosino, but to give people's money back to them, now about a problem. Saturday we talk about that issue. I was say over to me the wadwen che to me about me kind messages ne kakra ba along the line no e ko so nyina number no na that screen ni so no obetumi afre number na that screen me so sisi an ofra making sure say TV no volume no obedum no o de betu mute and I will pie kra every baby TV no no enye sa disturb baby echoes ne do so na me te won kan o TV no ma me you afri so enti number na that screen so no obetumi afre ne atotwe ye de anyansafo nkomo 0245954615 0245954615 0245954615 number na that screen so no wo so betumi afre na do adwen che atumi aba and amamuo enho asem ne yeka any nation building any leaders a omatumi abo ama omukuro atumi atumpo abra na omu ni hwe mo be fred wadwen kire aba mami enhwe na me fa messages ni kakra was okay mami fa hello good morning
sir
udini ba bia kasa free
me pa che frem asante me kasa free abuso ka zongo
asante etie o
me pa che o man we de aye ne de ye dwun wa yenti ase o bre kwa na ye bre o because ye leaders no ye leaders no dwun ho a me ti ase ase ni pani bia o man mu a obi aye de o pe ti pa mo cho mo na mo ka yeti ti me pa mo cho mo ka bi na eja so mo betimi ase so mo ti me ti sama wa be da se ni ma dwun kire
okay na me so insha so so de wadwen kire ba 0245954615 number that screen is so 0245954615 any number o frɛ na wo de wadwen kire etumi so aba Kwabravi Eddie Fripoko Ase Bengazi or say Arise Ghana movement members, we won't give up the fight against killing of some journalists such as Ahmed Swale, hardship in Ghana, high prices of food. Okay, Mami Kwahumani. So hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Would you know Biaka selfie?
We did the MFA, me first East Lagos Hills.
Okay, it's you want to pay.
Me pacho. Assembly ha me almost say a kind of example a coronavirus. So ukoda admission ye theaters ewo hu omo the two force ye tia wo hu but ukoda admission this 120 Ghana 60 days ade a higher pa because uko hospitals still omo say a government there this a wuti answer na omo admission even so ukoda honum ade chi kwampo omo say this a wuti answer ya ye okoye operation Sesian who one day pay no my operation amount. This every 2 weeks, every week and Oma book you. And be on check you. But who's the operation here? This is 120 Ghana cedis and Sana on Bessa your operation. Who could that on the chick what so what won't ya?
Maybe the one Casawa experience and I will be now catch you.
We are victim. You are victim. Your operation last month. And a plan sooner hospital. I got back on a crime soon. Look what operation see so crack operation. A crime before you before a home a background. Not a criminal SRV.
Okay, Michelle, your point you made in Michelle, our same number na your mom come. Your point program na sending so mommy. Now I feel na you didn't come. Nyami sha be so so fair. Only so betumi afre e de wadwen che tumi aba. Ni na no e ka ho bi na o man no e betumi atumpo ana so o man no betumi ahwe ase. Enti na ye hwe amamuo ene kwan e be fa so a leaders bi making impact ama other countries e develop. Ene kwan so a e be fa so a o man so betumi develop. Enti so betumi afre 0245954615 0245954615 number in the screen so fair now so far again today etumi ebra what's the hardship in Ghana, high prices of food, low fares, fuel, corruption in President Nana Ado's government. We are die-hard Ghanaians. We are gallant fighters, so we will go to Obrasport again and convene over there. We are not afraid of the police. The police must come. We shall face them squarely. Arise Ghana for your right. So facing the police squarely, you know, and yes, a country, and yet to a demonstration, and I will voice out to grievances. Peaceful walk, peaceful demonstration. So the Baya Basa Ebiano into me, Emma, who are right, so demonstrating. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Who didn't know Yaka Selfie?
Me didn't be as the going in because if you are the issue.
Okay, Isaac, you.
Na mi bisa sɛ deɛ mpa ne ɔhaw paa nti ama sisi yɛn ho ate wɔ mɛnhi. Efi sɛ nkyɛn mi bisa saa no sɛ complain sɛ Ghana yɛwɔ sika mpa nso hwɛ bi de nnwoma a yɛwɔ nso de akansi yɛwɔ sika na sɛ yɛn ho kyerɛ no ɛno na mɛnti ase. Efi de leaders no yɛ nnwoma yi anaasɛ ɛdɛn ɛno ne me haw no.
Ose oman no ho kire ye nti ase obi sase efi leaders and ase efi there. Yes, of course, videos are boy bebre ya kire some qualities of leadership ne kwan e be fa so a e be bu man ene omanfo nso so a e portray certain characters a ama omman a na omu ni hwe ene oman no ye bobo wiase afana ina man a ekoso so it all has to do with the initiatives, the policies of the leaders. Hello, good morning.
Fine morning.
Would you know be akase free?
Okay,
try it you.
We see I don't be about couldn't fresh see our casa no. The scheme Ghana would be your good word diamond. Omo penny go for the Baba Sui, Okache Kiskasu, now your comedy. Now so no bomba West Chem Bibia town penny mama or Clarenta. Omo that be war about Omo for demonstration. Government be by Canada by we call demonstration around go ahead here. And nothing I was say basa Ghana in idea. Okay, be my that Ghana no NPO my and yet aban ba ku dia o. Ghana nya NPP dia and Ghana nya NPP dia. Ghana me and win na dia and no bia dia. Ya be tu Ghana e ko aja man Ghana. That
okay, Mr. Someda says Lafo yina no pay ye chiamo 0245954615 0245954615 number on the desk screen is also fair na low TV volume na nko. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, I'm not saying
Boko udi ni be akase fi
Pacho blue ni kasafi odoko.
Okay, yet you
Hello,
meet you yanko
yes dear on my way dear. You na be too. Because JHS, when we JHS, one to some places are Usu. One more maybe JHS, or one to some university, or Musu. Or more maybe university for so, or more age man, your Musu. They say, you, you're there on my way more. You're going to for 3 more things. Omo ni dia na ma ya ma yo. Omo ni shish. Kada na pe fuka se omo be dia ma youth. And no, my almost sorry, me about to know na yehu. Hey, hey, no, could have been the Ghana, I'm woman out of any hour. Who can find it, Yanni? Am I on 1.8? Hey, woman, black won't see. No, maybe be na yehu say, only in penny for pass. I had the Aginia, not to say, you won't penny for good, they don't make me up away. Now, I did Dubai anyway. You see, call a cop na your my pie in Yanti to pie in Yanti. I can't see me Kojama that would be a pot. No amount to come young boys. You become also no more quiet day. And your move. Ghana to the forest, Munga did in my end. Yeah, Mamma Kwamu this kind of Mountain and Black Yako, not Yako in Yabindi. Okay.
Mini aba ozoso nyame ehia na ye nchia odokofo nyina enanope o say e wo say ye mpanimfo ye bibi. Yes, of course, we are talking about leadership. The leaders must rise. The leaders must come out with good policies and its implementations so that oman be to me afa ntoma pa de afia oman bia be develop a leaders so every country be our develop bia it has to do with the leaders. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Would you know be akase free?
Me did Nicholas Madina.
Yetio Nicholas Madina.
Okay, me kasafa demonstration right.
Okay.
Now maybe the police for say o man kasa biamono eyemo ma. Enyama e eduma o man car boots enu o man kasa no e ti say mom. Na ya sorry say by time on ya kamuso. Na ma twam ma san ya etan kuntokwa. Okay, me never mind. Nyame Asia na yencha Madina Fonsu ina anope 0245954615 0245954615. Onzo so obetumi afa Edward Nchire etumi aba. Okay, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Would you never be a Kasafi?
Yeah, I'm trying to call you Kasafi Amasama.
Okay, copy it you.
Hello.
Yet you, copy Amasama, yet you.
Yo, I didn't say and pay your phone. You need to be my. So what you say?
Yet you.
So also then the Panama Post can not because tell you. Only and the year the value to know. You see, the service. Young guy, you did was to say, Ghana, you, election time, yeah, and the July is and I'm a boy. Yeah, you're going to a back. Let me more almost, you know, almost the idea of more back of more graphic and more. Any mansion, and there they are common more graphic. One was under control to a man. You see, in the we add that the departure. Other than departure, or no, they didn't go to the blue hospital. Or not, the Bia and school, our Ghana. And somewhere you can. I say, one thing we have to know, let's start so only see. I don't say, because what we are going through, it's go through.
Me na be ma kona obi so mra bi na odi akira be kasa ma.
Na fire.
Kokoko obi mra bi nya me ekira. O se ye mpanimfo yare a omo ne omo ma na omo busi omo nkokolebu. Omo ma so nko suku wa ha entini ma na ekoso a omo hu. Yes, of course at times it is true because ye yare a ye be fly. Ye yare a ye be fly. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Me ba cho ma ne so kakra odi ne be akasa free. Okay, now me at you.
If I told so, who minus or mining, you're not looking to say almost long time. That's all they say. Only you are. So, can they put them a tip back to you, so back now. Or seeing your door at your singing or Edwin. Now, your time in Muka when you can put it for the papa ready anyway. So,
okay, o se the odo atenatene no ye nipa o se the ochiri atenatene ne ya aboa ewrade asem ni enti na se nipa bia no wote ho a tie afutuo tie atenatene na tie nkyekere eno na betumi aboa wo a wontie nkyekere ntie afutuo bia hwe ne se wo ya aboa we ewrade asem. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Ghana Nkasano. One of the years, no, be only within to me, but transfer no akofa na busuafo. Na odidi akotena sikaso, do odidi akotena bambos. So send be ya odisika na. Onu na busu ni be body bai. Wo de ekoso no Ghana. In fact, se Nyankopon abemu pa, de ekoso ni de ebe ya di mo. Hwe obi. Na omukromo omo oche afi
no mo ni hwe Ghana ya resources
omo ni hwe na hwe desert so na ene Ghana mpemifo omo ko ho yaresa obi ko a holiday na okoho na Nyankopon wi omobo na mpemifo wi obi a wadi Ghana sik wadi Ghana bro bia no Nyankopon be ma malaria ku coronavirus malaria be ku.
Okay.
Okay,
what's the meaning? I say, I mean, to be a cassette in a Juma City. I mean, Chow be a cassette in a Juma City. Pepe. What's a Meriban Temna market? You had the more be a said in a Juma City. We are Mampanya, Yamibe Chia Cassette or Juma City. We are citizens, Yamibe Chia Cassette or Juma City. Which 15. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Would you know be a cassette?
Please, I would like to go speak on this. My name is Isaac.
Please lower the volume of your TV set for us, please.
Okay.
Yes, lower it.
Is it okay?
Yes, it's okay.
In life, there is a saying that the wicked very wicked. Talking about what happened at Central, when the people were, let's say, those people trying to protest against the ruling government of this very country. How the people are trying to move towards the think the protest.
Nina ne say, the raspberry.
Okay.
The concept.
Okay.
Na me the madin chile say. Ansana insisiene or the same to the channel.
Okay, Rosemary, I mean, Shroud. I said there should be proper accountability. And which, of course, in a democratic state, you know, accountability plays a very vital role. Singapore, over Malaysia, now she Dubai, ube bisa, I say, a dear in the difference, ewo mutia, sao my and some way now, or motumia tumpong, eja or my Ghana. Nino has to do with leadership. Yache about commitment, accountability, responsiveness, yache nema bebre. Chese aban biya bibia etumi ye kama ya chire ni na so anopai de mi bisa per the videos per discussions I having na de mi bisa ne say what kind of government are we practicing, what system of government are we practicing as a country? Any question I mi bisa o man be develop it not because they are better than Ghana was once better than them but ene o me better than Ghana e dey ntia for last one here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Me ba so low TV set ni ma me low volume ni ma. Low.
Good morning.
Good morning. Udin we aka selfie.
Kafi Dansoma.
30 man.
Dansoma.
Okay, on aye last caller. Fayesi.
Papa de poso yi se dempa. Sesen bibia nkoyi na mpelefon tisu sinde isene yenyo muden. Mpelefon tisu yenyo muden, umwe mobo. Bre admanito medidi mbashe wa kai piti pami kuma embleso sido pami kuma bo manu asana buja pae o how de blepe asana atamfo pae o how de blepe asana voice akofo pae o how once bajiya kakla ena akofo pae once bajiya kakla ena tames bajiya kakla se se di akofo pae die wa se bibia.
Okay, na mi Asia.
Mama, mama ye. Kakopo do twaso nke ngombe toye. Wa ye bibia wa ku ye kwasia, wa ye bibia.
Okay, na mi Asia. Ye chada nso man so for ado pe. O hear the points na o build ba na. Enti na me kasa da bia ye ni anyansafo nkomo. Ye nya amanyosem. Ye nka de be mo ma na tunu afa ne ntuma pade afia. Utie build up na mi ni o frefi da nso ma ye na. O say Rollins be ye kakra Kwame Nkrumah ye kakra Kufuor ebe ye kakra Milson so be ye kakra Mahama be ye wo se edu na na do so kwa de niam ye basa enti wo hwa wanyi NPP enfrim because wo se Kufuor be ye kakra wanyi NDC enfrim wo se JJ ne Mills be ye kakra and we lay emphasis say na do dan kwa Kufuor do buy under this current administration here niam ye basa Ghana for ebre. So it tells you how the way people are fed up in the system, people are fed up in the society because of irresponsible people who call themselves leaders, because of insensitive people who call themselves leaders, because of selfish people who call themselves leaders, because of a group of people making up such a dysfunctional government. For every country to develop once again, the country must have a leader with vision, a leader who is fully committed, and a leader who believes in equality and equal justice with all fairness. A leader with good strategies, good mentality to make sure say obey implementing the good strategies just to make sure Nenkofor will live happy, just like Sheikh Mohammed of Dubai can. Or say I want to make Dubai #1 in everything. You be saying say how? Or say I have to. You be saying say why? Or say I have to make sure my people lives. I have to make sure my people lives better. If it can be done elsewhere, why can't it be done in Dubai? the question, if it can be done in Dubai, why can't it be done in Ghana? And then obi okuta 20 Ghana cedis etumi no jollof e ma ne ye de na obi okuta 100 Ghana cedis etumi no jollof e ma ne ye de. And then obi okuta 20 Ghana cedis so obi tumi dia wo fufuo na obi okuta 100 Ghana cedis etumi fo anwo fufuo. So it tells you there are so many countries they were nothing, they had nothing. But now, you can't countries develop it, of course you develop here. Or my reaching middle income status, just like Kenya. Kenya, and Kenya, you can't compare Kenya to Ghana in any way. But now, Kenya is more successful. Now there is peace in Kenya. Now Uko Kenya BBI also in terms of infrastructure and everything. What has changed into a Kenyan education system? And the air course come. Now Uka top 5 education systems in Africa. Ubebo Kenya. Uka top 10 education systems in Ghana. Or in Africa. Or more Ghana. Ubebo top 5 education systems in Africa. Ubebo Kenya. But Ubebo top 10 education systems in Africa. Untumi more Ghana. What has gone wrong? Country of a population of 54 million people. Or you should see Kakituebi and additional education. Just 17.8% of the country's money no use the education. 54 million people. Kenya education I better. But on my Ghana, you use 18.6. But this is where the country is on just 31 people. So all these countries are developing. But look at Ghana now. Look at Ghana now. What is the problem? To me, it has to do with the mindset of the leadership. Leaders who has no vision, leaders who are not committed and don't believe in equality and fairness. With all due respect. I don't know about me, ADSC and I don't pay so. Active morning and now before some comedy production tuning I say wisdom to me share with the floor and other things now to me assist with production wisdom yami insha too sweet Moses that also descendant of King Solomon also so to me eboy share lighting share camera manage MCR bibia to me camera Clifford Adombiri and so share in social media handles and so to me MIA so Johnson John Laporta and so a sports update every and mijinam edema ajenum ajay boatin from me I'm not Clement the youth advocate truth will always defeat lies Apostle General Chairman 1 baby I will be him say na uhimu na nyame sha odane there you know the kind of family and the society the positive family you are building won't so awo fi awo share me wa utumi efreye wa want to me anfre wa send a message wa want to me send wa the far Facebook YouTube wa ye kan ye wa want to me kan wa in any form be in any way contribute to the success of the program ebi onu kwa na wode nakoma e na etai dwumadi nachi wonso so nyame entumi nhia obi biara na bibia nso so no entumi ene kama me ka say o cha Thursday Ivan Chey Innocent 9 am otumi etena say na me ko ina me ka che o say active media and active brains consultancy services classes no and I say training classes no share nyame boa next week entimi show before registration forms 50 Ghana cedis number no and that's going so mu bia obefa bia no obetumi ene emo edin kom obetumi afre obetumi send message obetumi send WhatsApp active media fees ne so ya tete so kra 6 months and e dey ma purely practicals what I say tell be ya so betumi anya ensa na adwuma na bibia nso so etumi aye kama first 5 people obetumi afre me say na train 2 year first 5 people afre no 250 Ghana cedis ye tu ne aba ho ne abetwa video adwuma wo ye bibia wo ye bia na etumi abo ye ho dawro abo ho dawro television so enso so etumi e the amount medanya nsafo nyina ase ada positive family fo nyina ase say da bia da modem mutumi ene wo pepa tumi ta adwumadi achi na bibia nso etumi ye kama before say me kono eno ama aje wa akode e na fe Richmond eye mu ye Opsi Direct Active TV oduma say moba eye adwoa adwoa tetebo anope happy birthday to you enim say na de bibia betwa wa kwan bia obedi dade e kora a obewe we de akora bi one na maame na mo hu mitfa se mama medi ohu we yo se medi efunu adaka etwa se mama mewe bibia akora se obewe aha ne obetumi e de say my name is Ano Clement the youth advocate and truth will always defeat lies we ye Ghana ni na wadwuma wo ye wanama wa wutu onsusuye eboa ama oman na koso a nyame ntua woka we ye Ghana ni wadwuma wo ye wanama wa wutu onsusuye emoa ema oman no enkoso a nyame ntua woka nyame ntua obiaka se de na adwuma tie